Hey Zubair.
Hi everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome back.
Let's continue.
Okay.
All right. So, last week we read about, I'll read the sentence that we finished talking about and continue to the next sentence because they're connected. All animal and human deaths are a demobilization. Those who have completed their duties of life depart from this transient world for another happy and trouble-free world, so that place may be made for new officials to come and work.
Okay.
So, our death then
Do we need to go?
Our death then is a demobilization to a place where we have another happy and trouble-free life. We talked about last time when in this life, since it is a training grounds, a place of education, to know not to turn my attention to the apple as the provider of sustenance, to not think it's the provider of sustenance, but to turn my face to the creator of me and the apple
as the true sustenance.
Yes. If I know that, then as I'm going to the afterlife, as I'm being demobilized, it's a happy place. I know that I just can go directly to Him.
Yeah, that's why it is happy and trouble-free place.
Exactly. It's happy and trouble-free because when I'm hungry, I know that I have somebody to provide for me like that.
I have an addition to that. Shall I?
Okay.
It's trouble-free because, well, what is the original thing? Yeah, dağdağsız. So it's kind of the same thing, trouble-free. It is trouble-free because, in order to sense the absoluteness, you need to have some gaps in it, some shadows, right? That's why we have some troubles in this world, in this abode. But once the training is completed, well, you know what the absolute is, the absolute sustainer, for example. Then you don't have to have a trouble anymore, because you just sense the absoluteness. Then the other world, the afterlife, doesn't need any troubles, right?
Yeah.
I thought I just lost you for a moment.
I'm thinking about it, but I don't have any objections to it.
Really? Well, glad to hear that. So, happy and trouble-free world we are going to depart from here.
Yeah. Okay, but I think we understand that. We can continue and move on to the next part of this sentence, which is to make way or to make place for new officials to come and work.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I was eager to talk about that too.
Yes, go ahead. Tell us.
Really? Oops. So, last week we were talking about the difference between the animals and the human, right? So the difference between those was a kind of evidence for us to understand the real essence of this world.
Yes.
Just like this is another proof for me actually. Everyone comes and goes. So it's a kind of indication this place is not permanent.
Yeah. Okay.
We are not permanent in there too. We just come in, stay for a while, and move on. So the others come in. So we just witnessed this, right?
Yep.
Witnessed it, right? Even the animals, they come in and go, come in and go. The generations come and generation goes. So what we understand here, there is just my imagination, there is a certain amount of people, let's say 42 billion people maybe, I don't know. They have to go through the education process until all is completed, all is done. So that's another proof for me to understand this world is a kind of training field that is going to train everyone one by one.
Actually, that's an interesting point. When you were talking, I thought about this. Though our time in this life is not permanent, we see that, okay, we recognize that. The fact that there was a generation before and after us is a sign. This is the way that the Creator is creating to show us something. This is a message. But that there is a generation before us and after us shows that there is a permanent abode. Otherwise,
above this.
Yes, to show just in general that there is a permanent abode. It's like creating a relative permanence inside of non-permanence. Because my life is going to end, so I know that it's not permanent. Every life that has come into this existence dies, we know that. But the fact that in that reality, there's a generation before me and a generation after me, it shows that things are continuing.
It's an ongoing process.
Which shows a permanence, a relative permanence. but that's showing that's a sign that if this world were completely temporary, then there would not be a generation before or after me. If God just created, some will say that there is no afterlife, for example. One of the evidences for afterlife is the fact that there's a generation before me.
Mm-hmm.
And so if someone were to ask this question, how do you know that you're going to this permanent abode? I can easily cite the previous generation that was before me and the generation that comes after me.
Mm-hmm.
That shows that there is a permanence being created. God is showing a permanence in His creation. Behind the
temporary creation, temporary generations that we are facing with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
So that's something else we can pull from there. Okay, we can continue to read the next sentences or so. The birth of animals and humans marks their enlistment into the army, their being taken under arms, and the start of their duties. Yes.
Animals and humans.
Mm-hmm. The birth, though, of animals and humans marks their enlistment into the army.
The human here is insan in the original text.
Okay. So we've talked about that a lot, the high level of human, the quintessential human.
Mm-hmm.
But it marks the enlistment into the army.
Mm-hmm.
And
They're being
taken under arms. So it's as if this world being taken under arms, I think the Turkish is a little bit different in...
kind of similar. Ahz asker.
Not necessarily taken under arms, taken into a military training.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Underarms means?
Arms is the use for weapons.
Huh. Well, yeah.
Okay.
You don't necessarily have to carry weapons all the time when you are a soldier.
Well, when you're in your training, the fact that even if you are carrying weapons, you're being taken into soldierhood, the training of being a soldier. So the goal isn't to use the weapon to kill anybody.
Yeah.
The goal is to learn how to use the weapon to do a certain job with it.
Being a soldier in general.
Yes, to learn how to be a soldier, so that when you go to your demobilization, you'll use that training. Mm-hmm. So when we see this, we go through a process first, and then we're going to use it in our demobilization. We're being taken into the training of being a soldier, so that we will be a soldier later.
Yeah, for the rest of your life.
So it's as if, we often will say, this is an enlistment. So, somebody who says, witnesses that there is only one creator, one God, and that Muhammad ﷺ is his messenger. This is the enlistment process. It's not, when somebody says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, it is just the beginning of the enlistment. It's not. It's being taken into arms. We're starting our training. Just by saying it doesn't mean that we've gotten through the training.
Yeah.
Which you're coming from a Muslim culture, Zubair. I think that's generally how it's taken. As soon as you said La ilaha illallah,
You're all done.
It's done. You've enlisted and that's it. There's not much of a training process in many of today's Muslim cultures.
But remember the last week's discussion that we had. You just need to see the provider, sustainer, behind the apple.
Yes.
But just by saying La ilaha illallah may not provide that.
So let's end here then. Thank you very much. We hope to see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.